Welcome back to the Glint Standard. Today we're going to talk about the Glint Standard in terms of how our agency delivers on quality versus the podcast itself. So talking about the Glint Standard, what that means, what that's like. Starting this thing over 20 years ago, there were standards I definitely wanted in place, right? It's hard to live up to standards a lot. It just is. It's hard to deliver on them every single day, every single time. But you definitely want to strive towards that. And as the agency's grown and we've added people, everyone else has to deliver that same standard, right? And that's what we're kind of talking about today. So,
right.
What are your thoughts? From a different perspective, right? What is that Glint Standard to you?
Yeah, so I think for us, it's when I think of the Glint Standard, I like our branding, right? So I always go back to our branding. It's really polishing it, right? And it's getting it to that glint effect that happens. And so when I'm thinking about the Glint Standard, I'm thinking about taking something, whether that be a logo, whether it be campaign strategy, whatever that is, anything that's about to leave our door, even our proposals. And look at those and then go, can we polish them more that they have more of a glint shine? And if so, that should be the Glint Standard, right? So it's that extra above and beyond maybe what another agency would have done, and allows us to, we've seen success with it.
Yep,
we know
absolutely.
doing that, not only for ourselves, but for our clients, and making sure that everything has the Glint Standard before it leaves our door really helps us succeed.
Yeah, and I think the hard thing for any company, including ours, is can you nail it every single time? And you certainly try to. It's an almost impossible feat to be able to pull it off. But we strive very hard to do that.
Right.
However, as every company does, we miss the mark sometimes, right? And that's where we have to slow down usually, sit down and regroup who we are, and why is it delivering that way? Now, there could be multiple reasons too. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's expectations with the client were defined well. Sometimes it's both client and agency a little off the same page. For the most part, I think we do a really good job of delivering for our clients. But when it gets off track, it's usually a communication issue.
Right.
And that's where standards are really put into place. Here's what I heard. Here's what I said. Are we on the same page? So that when you deliver, the standard's there. Because the details are super important and the quality's super important, and that has to be there. But it's the expectation, did I get what I thought I was going to get, even though you communicate all the way through the pathway. That's typically how that standard gets missed.
Yeah, and I feel like you touched on it, but like it's something that I've noticed, especially being in our agency now and holding myself accountable and others accountable to that Glint Standard, is as we're communicating with the client, if we feel internally it's met that standard, and it really has that polish and the shine, and like we're really, really excited about it, and the client doesn't get to the same point, that's when I can kind of go, okay, hey, as an account rep, I need to step in, I need to start talking to them, going, hey, why, like, did it not meet your expectations, like what's going on, and you can start to figure that out and see where the communication breakdown comes in.
Right. And doing that along the way helps get to the end so that doesn't happen, right? Because the sooner you can catch something being off, the sooner you can correct it. Now, at the end of the day, sometimes you can't. It may be to our standard, right? And for whatever reason, it could be changes within function, position function at a client's. Our point of contact is the best way to say that, I guess. That could have changed, right?
Right.
There are a lot of things along the way that happen internally on the client side as well that can affect that end result. And even though we're all on point based on what we said we were going to achieve, time really starts to kill that too. So if something goes for a year, it's supposed to take 3 or 4 months, that standard's probably going to be missed a little bit. And part of it is everyone's lost excitement. It's let's get it done attitude, right? And it hits both the client and the agency side sometimes. But you've got to stop and regroup and go, okay, we still need to nail this, even though it's taking a long time to get what we need. Now we have what we need. We got to nail it versus let's just get it done and get out of here, because now it's affecting profit, right?
Right.
And profitability, which is a big thing for agencies. That margin, that profitability is the key for them to be successful. So the place where most agencies, ours as well, probably fall apart the most is that let's get it done. And the quality's still there, the detail's still there. We're trying to push decision making, right? To be a little firmer. And when you get to that point, we're off point already. So do you just try to finish it up, move on? You say it's not a good fit. What do you do? Because it's not always a good fit, to be honest. I mean, it's just not. Even though it seems great when you start, right? Mm-hmm. But the intentionality is still the same. And as an agency, we have our stamp on all the work we do. So if things change, budgets change, whatever that is, and now the final product's not going to deliver like we initially talked about, that affects our quality levels as well. We can't show the work now because it's not going to be what it was supposed to be for whatever reason. That happens sometimes. But even through that, if you can communicate and stay on the same page, and it really comes down to the client and the agency being very honest with each other, right? Say, hey, I know this isn't on what we talked about. This is where it has to be now. Right. What can we do to get there? And you talk about it. You go, well, we need more budget to get there, right? Well, now you're nickel and diming me to death, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want that, right? The clients also have to understand that the intention of the agency is to put the company or the product you're selling, whatever it is, in a better place, right?
Yeah, so. Yeah, and I know we've talked about specialized agencies versus a more all industry type agency, right? And I think when you start to hit that all industry type agency, which is us, that focus really has to shift a lot and go like, hey, we may not have this exact case study that somebody's looking for to show the exact results that they're wanting, but we can show results and go, our overall goal is to achieve what we want to do. Right?
Well, you need to show that standard in that regard. If you can show the standard across any industry and any work, people are buying into, okay, this is your standard, this is the quality of what you're going to deliver, then you're fine.
Right.
And some clients, they care about that, but if you don't have a lot of experience in the industry, they're going to move on, and that's a whole different podcast probably, right?
Yeah.
That we can talk through, because it could be a long one. But as far as putting the standard down, for us, you have to be intentional, very intentional with what you do every day. You have to think in terms of, does this help or benefit the client? Does it help or benefit the agency? And if either one of those answers are no, you address it. You don't just blow by it, right? And it's easy to blow by it when you're running 90-0 sometimes, right?
Yeah, and having open, good conversations with the client. Not even just about like some of the time that we have found is just digging a little bit deeper and figuring out, okay, there's another agency or another vendor that's handling this for them, right? But why aren't we incorporating that all together and making everything more effective? So I think that communication that happens there.
Yeah, and it's hard when your standard, you want the best for the client, even though you're not handling everything. Maybe you're just handling the consulting role, right? Which we do sometimes. You want to hold everybody else to that same standard for that brand, which that standard from front is going to be pretty high. It's not good for some clients, right? And it's great for others, but knowing where you need to deliver and how, when there is conflict, it's easy to just go back to that point and go, okay, this is what we talked about, and maybe we're frustrated right now, or whatever. Let's just take a minute. Let's think about that, and let's jump on a call in a couple hours, right? Where we both just take a minute and just think through what we're trying to do here and move forward. Because the best of friends fight, right? I mean, there's no way around it. That's how people are, and people are in the agency, and people are our clients, right? It's, do you have enough respect for each other to work through those details, right? And sometimes we push a lot about, you really need to be doing these things to deliver what you're looking for, and the client may not see it that way, and they're going, no, we don't. We need to do it this way. And so you go, okay, well, let's just do it that way then. And if you get results, great. And if you could have better results, we're going to remind you of that. That's our job. But sometimes that comes across pretty aggressive, a little off-putting at times, right? So how you deliver that matters. But when you always can bring it back to the problem and solving the problem, and it doesn't become personal, right? And you say kind of level-headed and kind of get through that whole thing, you're fine, right?
Yeah, and I think we'll definitely have an episode coming up that will talk about how we handle client conflict, right?
Yeah, that'd be a really good one to work through.
Yeah.
Can be challenging, for sure.
It's coming. It is coming. So, but yeah, I appreciate your time. Love having the conversation. Love to hear from everybody here. So if you want to leave a comment down below, if you're on YouTube or comment on any of the podcast channels, we'd love to hear from you. You can always reach us at agency@theglintstandard.com, or just pick up the phone and call us. Be happy to talk to you.